Hello mixtresses and mixters, this is mixtressrae, you're watching Mixtress video. It's time to do Sylvain's 7 decks for deadly sins. Okay, gotta light the candle of course. Okay, I'm doing this spontaneously. I'm sitting next to my shelf with all of my tarot decks and I'm just gonna see what comes to mind first. I normally don't think about deadly sins, but the prompts are very nice and clear. Okay, so first, Pride, a deck I purchased to flex with. I have not done that with anything. To flex that I have it. I don't really have anything rare. I mean, I have a few like out of print things. But okay, I'm gonna actually just define this prompt slightly differently. A deck that I'm really proud that I have is my Tarot of the Cat People. And it's really just because of the circumstances with which I got this. So this is the like second or third printing, I think. So this would have come out in like 1984, 85. And I've told this story a bunch of times, but I got it from a family friend who had just had it in his house. The cards were still in the wrapping. The box didn't have wrapping on it, but the cards had like the plastic on it still. So I'm the only person that's used this deck, but it's been in my mom's friend Phil's house, was in his house for decades before he gave it to me. And I would have been like 2 or 3 years old whenever he first purchased this deck. And it was just waiting in his house for me to get at the age of like 35, which, I don't know, is just cute. I just like that story. So that's the story that I'm most proud of, the way that I ended up with that particular deck. So that's the way I'm defining that, I think. Just because I don't have any like super rare decks that I would flex with or whatever. I mean, sure, at some point in the future, I'm sure I will have something that's like really precious to me because of how rare it is. But I just don't have something to fit that category yet, really. Next prompt is Greed, a deck you don't share with anyone / only use for yourself. So my copy of Marigold Tarot that I got from Amrit Brar herself is the one that I kind of decided, and I haven't done this with any other deck ever, but I kind of decided when I got it. At first I wasn't even going to show it on camera, but I have shown it on camera before, so I'm not too precious about that anymore. But I think I've never used this particular copy to read for anyone but myself, because I haven't let anyone else touch it. And I have not been precious with any other tarot deck like that, but I chose to do that with this one because I was like, it's a gift from the creator. It's one of my favorite decks. This is the only tarot deck that I really have any kind of like sacred relationship with. So I just decided that with this copy, I won't be reading for friends. I won't be letting other people touch it. And it's possible that like Michael's touched it at some point because I'm not actually capable of being that precious, but that was the plan when I first got it. So I don't even actually know for sure if I've let him touch it. I probably have. I mean, if he wanted to, I wouldn't have been like, I'm sorry, I'm not letting people touch this deck. Because I would have just forgot that I was planning to do that, basically. Next prompt is Wrath, a deck you're angry at. Let me see. What deck am I angry at? Oh, you know what? I know exactly what it is. I feel like I don't really want to go into the reasons why I'm angry with this deck, but it's Gothmancy. Part of it is because pop culture decks don't work super well for me. I'm also angry at it because the finish on the cards, like you won't be able to see. It looks totally normal. But in some types of weather, like it's fine right now, but in some types of weather, I think it has like kind of a UV coating on the cards or something. Whatever that UV coating, it kind of sweats in particular weather situations. So it's like, it can feel kind of weird and wet to the touch, which I don't like. So, and I'm also kind of mad at this deck because the second edition Kickstarter seemed unnecessary to me. Like, it didn't really seem like a different edition. And they were doing a whole other Kickstarter for it, which, yeah. And I'm not going to go into that because I will get angry. So I'm kind of angry at that deck. It's kind of been an unofficial timeout. Like, I know I would be sad if I got rid of it because I really do like it. It's the most usable pop culture deck I've ever had. It might be the only pop culture deck I ever keep. And maybe some future edition of it will be what I want it to be. But yeah, I'm just not gonna I'm not gonna go into all the reasons why I'm mad at that deck. But I haven't used it very much at all in the last few months because as soon as that second edition of the Kickstarter came out, I was mad for various reasons, and I have taken it out on the deck, and we haven't made up yet. Envy, a deck you wanted because other people have it. I think, honestly, I mean, there's definitely decks that, like, the reason that I got them was because, like, a friend of mine had it and worked really well with it. But I think the one that most closely fits that definition is Triumphi della Luna. Because I don't think I would have even known that this deck existed if it weren't for Anna Astrolady. And I don't even know what made me look it up when I did. But at the time I was looking it up to see, like, because I'm not really that curious about Marseille, but this one seemed somewhat interesting to me. And I looked it up because of Anna Astrolady, because she loved it so much. And I was like, okay, well, you know, if there ever is a Marseille out there for me, it's probably going to be this one. And when I looked it up, there was a purple edition, and it was like, oh, okay. Well, obviously, if I'm ever going to like a Marseille, it's going to be this one. And it was right. I do like it. I actually really do. The cardstock is amazing. It's just like, you know, kind of like old school US Games cardstock before it got too thick and stiff. It's just very usable. I had the perfect color to edge it with. Yes, ma'am. And I like it. So that was the one that I really did get it because of Anna, and I like it. Next, Lust, a deck you like for aesthetic reasons. I chose to define this as like the deck that has the most cute boys in it. And for me, that is Dame Darcy's Mermaid Tarot. I think this is the only deck that like almost every boy in this deck, I'm like, hey, cutie. Because they've got like, I don't know, bright, sensitive boy eyes. And let's see if I can find one of the ones that I think is really cute. Of course, it's not going to be in the, oh, yep, he's cute. He's cute. There's a couple of boys in this deck that I'm like, oh, hey, cutie. He's cute. Yep, he's cute. He's okay. Now I want to go through the whole deck. Because I feel like there was one in particular, but I can't think of it off the top of my head, that I was like, oh yeah, that's cute. He's pretty cute. He's pretty cute. Not the king. Not the kings. Kings are never cute. He's really cute. I mean, I've thought boys in decks were cute before, but this is probably the one that, like, the boys are the cutest in it, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, yes. Cute. Cute. I don't know what it is. I think it's just because they look graceful. They look really, like, graceful. This actually looks like a person that I dated. Anyway. So, Dame Darcy's Mermaid Tarot is my lust deck, even though I'm ace, so the word lust is kind of uncomfortable for me just in general. Why do I make you guys listen while I put things back in the box? I don't know, because I have to put them back. I have to put them back. Okay. Gluttony, a deck you really didn't need but purchased anyway. That's all of them, really, honestly. But which one feels the most excessive to me? Really didn't need... You know what? I'm going to go with my most recent purchase, which is Londa Tarot. I have Crow's Magic, which is her other deck. And I haven't really started working. I just started today, actually, working with this deck. And I definitely didn't need it. Definitely didn't need it. Because for the most part, this deck is... I want to show you the box. It's kind of funny. First, I want to just find a cute picture to put in the background. Sure, 4 of Cups. It says, the scenes on each card are a stage with characters presented in a dramatic and theatrical manner. Beautiful 78 cards by Londa are highly stylized, unique, and spiritually influenced. I did get a really great price on this. It was only $30, and sometimes it sells for really expensive. So, but for the most part, to me, it just looks like pretty people posing, which on the surface makes me think this isn't going to be a very deep deck. However, it's definitely, made by somebody that knows tarot, and I like the look of the characters. So this is one that I definitely did not need, and I'm not quite sure how much use this is going to get or how deep a connection I'm going to have to it, but I could be surprised. So it's probably a little too soon to judge this one, but there you go. Sloth, a deck you use when you feel lazy. This, I feel, is a hole in my collection, to be honest. Like, I definitely have decks that I use. I don't have the type of deck that Sylvain has that he used for this category, whereas he picked something that was like, it was one of those angel decks, one of those Radley Valentine decks, I think, and it was just kind of a really comforting, sweet tarot deck, and I kind of wish I don't think I have anything like that that's just really sweet and comforting and affirming. The closest, I think I might have 2 answers for this, because I think my real in practice answer is just the Rider-Waite-Smith. I think whenever I'm not wanting to at all feel challenged by imagery, or I don't want to think too hard, I'll just get out a Rider-Waite-Smith. I'll either get out just the straight up Rider-Waite-Smith, or I'll get out like Modern Witch, because these two are just like, I don't have to work hard to interpret them. All the symbolism's just there. I recognize the cards immediately. Everything's just there, Like with this deck, actually, it's the German version, and I actually cut off the borders and the titles. So, and I don't need them, because I just know this deck that well. So I would say that is my real life in practice answer to this question. But the one that I think theoretically could become like a sort of comforting, lighthearted, I say this is the one that could become that, simply because I've only had this deck like a week. I just edged it yesterday, guys. Look. Yes. Because this deck is just so fucking cute. And it's not serious. It still has a lot of Rider-Waite-Smith symbolism. It doesn't take itself seriously at all. I mean, it's animal heads on human bodies. So I do think that, like, even though I haven't had this deck long enough to test it for that theory, I think this could become sort of my Sloth deck. And it actually has a Sloth in it. Do you guys want to see? Let me find it. I just think this deck is so funny. I mean, look at that. It makes me laugh. This reminds me of Papa Squirrel. Just because I feel like he would wear this outfit. Totally. Sorry, I'm trying to find the Sloth, but I'm getting distracted by all the other cuteness. I mean, come on, look at her. I know, some people hate the whole, like, animal heads on human bodies. This one's my favorite of the whole deck. I love it so much. Okay, I'm trying to find the Sloth. Okay, here it is. So it actually has a Sloth in it. And I just think this is so much fun. This deck is kind of like what I wanted Muse Tarot to be, honestly. But I couldn't do Muse Tarot. I actually had it twice and got rid of it twice. Because it reminded me, I didn't like the model faces, you know? Like, there was a lot of fun color and movement in Muse Tarot, just like in this deck. But it just didn't have the whimsy that this deck does because of the animal faces. It's just so cute. It's just so fucking cute. And this is really the only deck I have that I can say that about, that it's so fucking cute. I don't really have kitschy, whimsical, cute kind of decks. Most of my decks are, you know, goth, somewhat serious. Like, this one's cute. So I think that one might be my future Sloth deck, like a one that I actually turn to when I need a light-hearted message, when I need a reminder not to take life so seriously. But for now, it's, you know, in practice, it's usually Rider-Waite-Smith or something. So there you go. That is my, keep forgetting what the tag's actually called, 7 Decks for Deadly Sins VR to Sylvain. Thank you for making this tag. It was really fun. Okay, guys, I want to see yours. Bye.